If you decide to move to Mars, your 300,000 ticket will include a one-way trip to Nüwa. Yes, one way. There's no coming back. A residential unit of 25 to 35 square meters, full access to facilities, life support services, and food, and a binding work contract to devote between 60% and 80% of your work to tasks assigned by the city. What will it take for people to safely live on Mars? Abibu has nailed the biggest requirement by planning for ways to shelter residents from radiation. We'll need some similar protection, doze machina, for people to get all the way to Mars without being irradiated. But that's for some other group to solve. And the residents will need to be able to produce food crops in order to sustain, and is simply too complicated and risky to plan to bring all required food all the way from Earth. People will live in cliffside terraces and only visit the more exposed surface when necessary. They will travel by train and bus outside the cliffside and by huge elevator systems inside the cliffside. At the foot of the cliff, large pavilions have been located for social interaction in the valley. These pavilions have been designed with translucent skin to offer views of the landscapes of Mars. These domes are protected from external radiation by large overflying canopies. The material from the cliff's excavation is dumped on top of such roofs, protecting from radiation. At the same time, this strategy ensures recyclability even at a large scale. In the valley, there are also specific structures to house hospitals, schools and universities, sports and cultural activities, shopping areas, and train stations that communicate with the space shuttle. Abibu says it imagines the city only requiring supplies from Earth for a limited time before the city becomes sustainable. With designs like this one, it's worth thinking about the margin of error associated with different features. What if 250,000 people populate the city but half are temporarily disabled by an illness that rides along from Earth? There is an equilibrium point where everyone must do their part to ensure that all citizens get out. For example, the plans for Nüwa include crop plants as well as farms animals. Residents can socialize in shared areas separate from the terraced housing. The design is familiar for people who already live in mountainous places where terraces and elevation are nothing new. But usually, people want to live in the flatter place where making the mountainous terrain into terraces for farming. If you're not sure why, think about the challenges of moving from one home to another when the home is the side of a cliff. While Elon Musk has said he plans to have a city on Mars by 2050, an Abibu spokesman told Diaspora TV Australia there isn't yet an exact year to start building Nüwa, despite false reports of construction beginning in 2054. Most plans for habitation on Mars have opted for residents to occupy underground caves. Putting people into the side of a cliff is novel, but is a great way to combine the benefits of underground shelter without the downsides of becoming a mode person. In brief, architects and scientists have collaborated on a new Mars city concept, and up to 250,000 residents will live inside a cliff connected by elevators. The Mars city relies on a stream of supplies from Earth before becoming fully sustainable. Thank you. You're listening and watching to Diaspora TV Australia.